Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, welcome back to another guest choice review. This one is Predator 2, featuring my friend on Twitter and YouTube, Anihilus. How you doing?
I'm doing splendid. How are you doing?
Yeah, I can't complain. Got a bunch of haters yesterday and whatnot, and I to all my haters out there, thank you for giving me the views, but if you're gonna be a prick, I got some words for you.
Shut your fucking mouth! Shut the fuck up, you cunt! Shut it!
So yeah, if you ever want to come onto my channel and talk shit, well, I have a ban button, and I'm kind of gonna start using it. But other than that, looking forward to anybody who wants to also come on to guest choice reviews. If you want to be on one, you get to choose the movie, the time, and the date. And if it's manageable, we can work on it. But yep, today, Annihilus, you picked Predator 2. So what made you pick Predator 2?
Well, I've always thought it was the criminally underrated of the Predator films, and I've watched it only like twice or so in my life, and I remember really liking it a lot. And I was like, that sounds like a perfect movie to pick. And then I watched it last night in preparation for tonight,
Nice.
and it's just as good as I
So,
remember.
yes. Honestly, it really is actually a very good movie. Um, it has a great cast. I mean, you got Danny Glover, you got freaking Gary. I almost said Gary Sinise. Gary Busey. You got Adam Baldwin. I mean, Bill Paxton, the legend, who got killed by a predator, an alien, and a Terminator. So yeah,
The Holy
this
Trinity.
movie is the holy trinity of sci-fi monsters. So this one basically was filmed in 1989 and 1990 and released in 91, I believe, or 1990. I think it was 1990.
I believe it was
What
91.
Yeah. Well, either way, credit 1990 actually, because Kevin Peter Hall, who played the Predator, died in 91. Yep, Ruben Blades is also in this film as Danny Archuleta, who is that dude is just so freaking great in this movie. So this movie gives you a little bit of a fake out with the scenery of rising out of the jungle, and then we see a concrete jungle, Los Angeles, 1997, 10 years after the events of the first Predator film. And we get the cool title sequence. Now, era the Predator POV. What did you think of, or what did you think was flying around? Was it the ship, or was it like a drone for the Predators?
That is a good question. It could have been the ship. I thought the Predator was just doing extremely long jumps, mostly because I'm actually I might bring this up quite a bit in this discussion, but as someone I played the Alien vs Predator games, 1, 2, and 3 for PC. You can jump extremely long distances in all of those as the Predator. So I thought either it was the ship or he was just doing those kind of jumps.
Hmm. Honestly, I think it was possibly a ship or like a drone because its movement was very fluid and very steady. And then we get to the explosions and we see what's going on. And this Predator is basically, for those of you who don't know the Predator lore, this is a newly blooded predator. This is a predator that has just earned its blooded status, which means it's allowed to hunt humans, and it's also part of an elite tribe of Yautja, which is what they're called. How you doing, Cassie? It's always good to see you. And Gang Marche. And this one basically is part of the Lost Tribe, and they're letting its first hunt be in Los Angeles in 109-degree heat, and it's watching like the other predator in the first movie did. It is observing what would be the better prey, what is its ultimate endgame prey, and you see how it's just watching the action. And I love how this thing keys in on Danny Glover's character when he finally comes in. You also see the guy that plays Tony Pope for Hardcore. It's like, who's in charge down here? The cops? It's like, I mean, that is just so great. Get out, or Mr. Mayor, on vacation in your house in Lake Tahoe. Get off your butt and declare martial law. Because in this movie, there are two drug gangs that are basically at war with each other: the Jamaican Voodoo Posse and the Colombians. And they shot two cops, two motorcycle cops that got in the way of their stuff and told them to fuck off. But, well, then shit kind of went sideways, and a massive shootout started. So Harrigan pulls some John Wayne shit, sacrifices his car, so that he could get them out. And the Predator's watching how he maneuvers in. Well, Predator 2, honestly, Cassie, definitely check it. Outmanned, outgunned, and incompetent.
I think my favorite shot of that entire opening sequence was, I think it was when Harrigan's car was destroyed. You see it do a bunch of like end over end flips, and then the background music does this really weird thing with the trumpet. Every time I see it, I can't help but laugh. It's just a very silly sound, but it's one of my favorite shots in the entire movie.
He didn't roll his car.
Oh.
He didn't roll his car. There was a shot where El Scorpio blasts a car with a grenade launcher.
Okay,
that's probably
that
what
was
you were
probably
referencing.
it. Yeah. It's one of my favorite shots in the opening sequence.
Yeah. And then speaking of El Scorpio, the guy that has the long hair, he's also in the first Predator movie as the guy that's trying to stop the truck that Arnold Schwarzenegger took off of the legs and forced into the area and he had a bomb attached to it. So there's some nice little information for you. Jack of all casuals, good to see you. Hey. And Max Zed, good to see you. Have you ever seen that clip of Ron Paul on a TV show screaming at a talk show host? That's the same guy. Oh, wow. Nice. But so yeah, this Predator is watching all the action. You see the cops are now told not to go into the building because Harrigan, blocking them, managed to let the Colombians get back into the building. And I love how Harrigan's like, if we let them get dug in now, we're gonna have to level the building to get them out. I mean, there's some great lines in this film. And Danny Glover delivers a shit ton of them. So then we get the part where all the Colombians are getting ready or stocking up on bigger weapons, loading up on some hidden bullet or hidden tack bullet shot, where it's a gun, but you push the button like this, and there's a little hammer thing that nicks the bullet to send it off. It's not an actual gun. but it's one of those quick shotters that you can get a good quick shot out. And then we see this dude take some of the biggest hit of freaking cocaine. It's like he just, dude. I'm like, yep, he gonna die.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, come and get it. El Scorpio is ready. That's when the glass busts in, and you see an explosion outside, and it's like, oh crap, what the hell's going on? And the guy that tells Harrigan that he can't go in there is also in the Lethal Weapon movies with Danny Glover. He's
Mhm.
actually plays the captain in the Lethal Weapon movies.
Yeah, never actually saw any of them, and this kind of makes me want to check them out just to see how Danny Glover performs in those.
Oh, he does good. I like the movies. If only Danny said I'm getting too old for this shit. Well, he's not too old at that time, so yeah.
That's
I
fair.
think the coolest thing about the opening of Predator 2 is how it uses basically the same score and uses it to create the atmosphere of a larger scale or large scale war. Yes,
Yep.
that is actually very true. The movie recycles the score of the original.
Well, Alan Silvestri actually came back to compose for the second movie. He just
Mhm.
reuses a lot of his motifs and themes.
Oh, nice. And this is pretty cool too. The captain of Lethal Weapon movies is Richard Donner's brother-in-law, I think. Nice. But yeah, so they go in and they bust into one room. It's not them. It's not the Colombians. And they're like, next room over. Well, then El Scorpio comes out, starts blasting at the door that he just left, and then turns because he sees the cops, blasts one of them, and so he then runs up to the roof, scared shitless. I mean, this dude is looking everywhere. He is so freaking high on coke. It's like, oh my god, man. It's just, or so then Harrigan gets up there and he's like, put your gun down. It's over. You can get down or you can walk down or fly. It's your choice. And we then see the Predator in its cloaked form, which is the same as they did or the same method of effect that they do in the original, which is the big red suit and the the black background. And we also see it, and we also see some shots later on, which are improved effects because you actually do see the dreadlocks in a cloaked form as well later on. However, you see it in certain scenes where it doesn't have dreadlocks. So that is a kind of inconsistent movie error. So
Perhaps it was a budget thing.
maybe that's what I'm thinking it was. And we then see him get blasted by Danny Glover because he screams and raises his weapons to try to shoot at the Predator, but doesn't work. And he gets brought down to street level after falling off. Now, that dude literally lands in a shit ton of guacamole.
Mhm.
I'm sure there's a joke there somewhere, but I'm not going to tell it. And so the other cops get up there, and we find out that Mike is afraid of heights. So it's like, Danny boy, get me off this roof. And he's like, so where's the rest of them? Somebody beat us to it. And you see the slaughter in that room. And it's like, well, what happened? I mean, the Jamaicans couldn't have done this. I mean, what happened? They've all been cut to pieces. Now, when Danny's looking in or opens up a door because he hears a small little glass breaking on the other side of it, you see in the walls finger holes and blood trails. And it's like, that's the Predator climbing the wall in order to put the naked body up there to hang. for a later trophy. So, what did you think about the scene where they were investigating the aftermath of the carnage?
Seemed to be your standard post-slaughter cop investigation, and of course they're not going to know who did it, who or what did it. And another thing that kind of struck me is when El Scorpio falls,
Mm-hmm.
Danny turns behind him, and he sees, well, he kind of sees the predator. The predator leaves,
Yeah.
and it makes me, and I kind of always thought that he was thinking, oh, it's really freaking hot out and I'm under so much stress from this drug war that I'm starting to hallucinate.
Yeah, and that's basically what he says. He's like, damn, it's hot.
Yeah.
Now, and one person actually one time asked me what I thought, because you see that this predator later on is ready to blast a kid with a toy gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yet when Danny is pointing his weapon at him, he doesn't, or the predator doesn't fire. The predator's like, okay, what am I going to do here?
Mm-hmm.
And it then basically sees that he's reacting. He can't really tell what the hell he's looking at. So it's like, this isn't a threat, so I'm out of here.
Maybe it's not just you don't just hold the weapon, you have to be actively firing.
Yep, you have to essentially prove you are a threat.
And
However,
I also think, sorry,
no, go ahead.
I also think the predator was sizing Harrigan up.
In a sense, yes, he was zooming in on him and whatnot, and then he's like, later, later, I'll look at this one later on, see what he can do, because this is the one that I want to hunt. So the feds, or the deputy chief, Heineman, comes down, and he's like, you let me down, Mike. You're making me look bad. And I let you get away with a lot of shit, but all I ask in return is for a little cooperation. He's like, hey, Captain, don't let this get out, or Chief, don't let this get out, but it's a fucking war zone down here. And he's like, you're a soldier, you follow orders, so don't push it. And he's like, I'm going to push it as far as I can while you're downtown pushing pencils and kissing ass. And then we see the predator looking in on this, and then seeing the helicopter come in, and we get the G-Men all in their tidy little outfits and sunglasses, and Gary Busey. And it's like, okay. And Danny Glover's just freaking flipping on his deputy chief. He's like, I don't roll over for nobody, especially the feds, without a goddamn good explanation.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, he sees the helicopter, and he's like, wait, what the fuck? And Heineman's just had it. He's like, just walking on. What the hell is going on here, Heineman? Insubordination. Willful disregard of a direct order from a superior officer. Now go back to your cage at Alvarado. And he's ready, or fucking Danny Glover's just ready to beat the shit out of him. He's like, I'll show you insubordination, you son of a bitch. And his buddy Danny, he's like, no.
Yeah.
That's such great shots. He's like, oh, fuck.
Shit, he's going crazy. Gotta calm him down. Gotta prevent another incident.
Yep. Yeah, because he's going after deputy chief. That's not good.
That's a bit.
You
That's
freaking
gonna
attack
get him
your deputy
fired.
chief. Fired. That'll also get you arrested.
I mean, yes.
So then we get to see what Metro Command's headquarters looks like. Swamped. I mean, there's just everybody's like picking up multiple phones. Lady, if the water's not working, you call a plumber, not the cops. Another dude is like, come on, man, just calm down. Fuck you. Bam. Headbutts one cop and gets kneed in the nuts by another. And we then see Jerry Lambert. is looking for Lieutenant Harrigan. He's like, hold on, kid, I'll just get to you later. The fuck, Aaron is like, oh my god, it's just he's like, hey, what's going on? And so he's told about the special task force that Peter Keyes is going to be heading, and then Peter Keyes comes in talking about how he wants to stop King Willie's boys from controlling the entire West Coast. I wish I could tell you more, but we all got a job to do. And hopefully we can all act responsibly. Well, responsibility is my middle name. It's like, oh, you know he's going to freaking step on toes.
Cooperation is my middle name.
Yeah. And it's just so great. And so he leaves again, and Jerry Lambert tries again. Bill Paxton's scared. He's like, Lieutenant Harrigan, hold on, kid. I'll be right with you. Who the fuck is this dude? Yeah, what an asshole. I mean, and so then he's talking with Danny. He's like, so what do we got, Danny boy? Well, we got 5 Colombians going to the building. They're all shish kebab, not one bullet wound. And he's like, well, what could have done this? And he's like, if it was one professional, he would have split when the action started. More than 2, we would have seen them. Whoever did this waited until the last second, killed 5 heavily armed guys by hand, and then got by us. Maybe we should put him on the job, or maybe we should offer him a job, put him on the payroll. I mean, I love that line. I mean, and during this whole time,
I don't think a predator would ever settle for that kind of desk job.
Oh, hell no. And then we see that Bill Paxton's getting or putting the moves to Leona, and he's like, oh yeah, the guy out there, that's Jerry Lambert, the transfer. He's like, that's the Lone Ranger from Central Park. He's like, that's the Lone Ranger. Oh man, I thought he was here to get or fix the air conditioning. And you like an SJ? No. Oh look, we got our first fucking troll in here. You like an SJW movie, pray? You're entitled to your opinion. But anyway, he's like, oh, looks like they're putting the moves to Leona. His first big mistake.
Oh,
and he's telling his joke, and then Leona grabs him by the nuts.
Yep.
You pull that cowboy shit with me, fucker, you can kiss these goodbye. Got it? Yeah, got it. This movie just has so many great moments in it.
Yes. I like Leona. She's like this movie's Vasquez.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then he gets in there, he's like, if you're feeling up to it, why don't you limp your way into the lieutenant's office? He wants to talk to you. Yeah. Man, is that bitch on the rag or what? It's like, oof. I'm not here to troll. That's good. You're not here to troll, because if you were gonna troll, well, I'd then have to kick your ass out, because different opinions are welcome, but you keep them respectful. You respect me, I'll respect you. But I also have several videos that disproves this statement. So yeah. Anyway, folks, back to the film. He gives him the speech. Welcome to Metro Command. He's like, I paid my dues. I had to bust my ass to get this transfer. And that scares me, kid. Nobody requests to come down here unless they're looking for a reputation. There's no room for showboating. The team comes first. The door swings both ways. You get it? You know. And then he says, welcome to the war. And then we get the best 19 scene ever in film, where this high as a kite girlfriend to the crack king of Los Angeles is just riding him, and well, sadly is interrupted by the Jamaicans, because she's actually pretty hot.
Keep it down. Some
And
of us
one
are trying
of
to
the things
sleep
that they
over
didn't
here.
skimp on. Yeah, I know. And one of the things that, have you noticed that in this movie, they do full body nudity in this? You see
Yep.
everything on this woman, including the bush. Back when women had bushes.
No comment.
But they're doing their little thing. They're like, freaking kill all of his guards outside, holding her down and stringing him up naked. Like, not, or this isn't about money. This is about power. There's a new king on the streets. And this is a message for your people. You are
That's not
history.
a message. This is
Fucking
a
history.
message.
Goddamn puto. Yeah. And so he puts his little drizzle of blood all over the dude. And I'll tell you what I believe. Shit
Shit
happens.
happens.
Boom. With the knife. And then that's when the predator is like, okay, these guys have proven to be killers. Well, now I'm gonna have some fun. Bless one dude with a with his plasma caster, one dude with the net, one dude with the spear tip, another with the claws. I mean, you see all these guys freaking out after one dude gets blasted. And
And
then,
one thing worth noting,
yeah.
actually two things worth noting. Those claws, I believe those are from his spear gun, which is a weapon you get as the Predator in AVP2. It fires those same projectiles. And number two, the net gun, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it actually cuts through them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like barbed wire almost.
Hold on, I gotta address this guy. Prey is not a good movie, and that's a fact. I understand why you defend it. Well, because your statement there is incorrect. Objectively, the movie is handled pretty dang well. Yes, I have acknowledged that there are poor writing choices in the film. Yes, those poor writing choices do kind of speak to a little bit of wokeness. And yes, the marketing was woke. However, the movie was not. Now, this is all I'm going to talk about this. If you want to talk about it further, we can set up a stream and we can debate it out. I have no problem with doing that. Super sci-fi. But right now, this is a guest choice review, and I'm trying to talk with my friend here. So, yes, thank you. Anihilus makes a good point. This is what we're discussing tonight, and I'd like to actually discuss that with him.
And I know I
So,
do apologize for bringing up the games a bit, but I do consider them somewhat relevant to Predator 2 because I do believe Predator 2 had a big hand in shaping their development.
well, these games also do expand on the Predator lore and also do point out certain things. I mean, this Predator, honestly, is just leaving a trail of bodies. It's like
Mm. It's
you
not.
left
It's
one
being kind
hanging,
of
which he.
sloppy.
Well, it's not just being sloppy. This is what, or nobody can tell who's doing this. It's just this is, or the amount of trophies it's or bodies it's leaving behind, yet not taking trophies. It only took one or two trophies in this movie. Jerry Lambert and maybe a couple others, or that one dude that was hanging.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 trophies, yet you're slaughtering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus everybody on that train. So around 20 bodies are dropped in this movie by this predator, and only 3 trophies.
I honestly lost count of how many that got killed. But that's okay. I enjoyed watching it all.
Yep. Your audio is also skipping a little bit, just to let you know.
Yeah, internet's been a little shoddy. I rebooted the router recently, and that seems to have helped, but who knows what'll happen.
Yeah. So we get the next scene where the predator reveals himself to the last guy that's left standing. That's actually what you're supposed to do, because I actually have the code, or the hunting code, for the Yautja here. And let's see here. Let me bring it up on my Google Docs. Just bear with me. Stream talking points. Yautja. Here we go. So yes, there are certain rules, very strict rules, that the predators have to follow. Code violations. Those who break the code are called bad bloods and are considered an insult to Yautja culture. They are to be destroyed when encountered. Hunting intelligent species. According to War, there are strict rules concerning the hunting of intelligent species. Those who are not blooded cannot do this at all. However, some hunters want these laws overturned. So that tells you that there is a slight form of government within Yautja culture. Hunting worthy game. When hunting, the hunter must be sure that his prey is considered game and lawful to kill. Worthy game must fill the following criteria: can defend itself and or is able to kill the hunter himself. Of age, killing children and the elderly is considered highly dishonorable. Not linked to another or to other lives, pregnancy, and whatnot. So if you cannot kill a life that it will doom another, and not weakened by diseases. This excludes self-defense. So we saw in AVP, when Wayland was riddled with disease, he was automatically unworthy. The second he blasted Scar with the oxygen and the flame, it's called self-defense. He had every right to kill him then.
Mm-hmm.
Equalize, or number 4, equalize the odds. Killing prey when using less equipment is considered a greater prize. The hunters should typically give their prey a fighting chance for honor's sake. If the prey demands close combat, the hunter is to fight to their prey's standards, and should minimize use of their plasma caster and other projectile weapons. Failing in the hunt. Should the hunter fail in one's quest, he should take his own life and retain his honor rather than live in shame. However, some cowards prefer to live in obscurity rather than die. This is considered to be dishonorable, and suicide is then assisted by an enforcer, meaning the enforcer class of Yautja, which is higher than elite, or which is under elite and higher than hunters. Claiming the kill of another hunter. To take the trophy of another Yautja, living or dead, is considered to be a great insult. For example, 2 unblooded go on their first hunt. One Yautja takes on a xenomorph, and both are mortally wounded. While the wounded hunter is dying, the other hunter conveniently finishes off the prey and claims the kill as his own, abandoning the wounded Yautja. This is a crime that can be paid for with abandonment or death. So you steal another Yautja's prey or another hunter's prey, you're going to get in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, murder of another Yautja. To kill another Yautja intentionally holds severe consequences. This excludes self-defense and killing an opponent in a fight to settle a dispute. Murder is the worst crime. Number 8. I accidentally copied the same damn thing for number 8. So real number 8 is never harm the innocent. Those who have done no harm should have no harm done to them. It can be inferred that this rule must pertain only to harming one or other Yautja in the society, since they hunt and kill members of many species one could call innocent. It can also be inferred that bad blood predators would ignore this rule either in part or in whole. Hunting for food. When hunting for food, take only the weak. This is to purify the species line. Wounded game. When coming upon game wounded by another hunter and the prey is dying without sport, show honor to another's kill. If the game still shows sport, it is to be a joint trophy. Some of this applies to the city hunter, some of it not. Joining another hunt. You do not join another's hunt or hunt in their territory without their permission. All trophies taken in this matter are stolen trophies and shall be dealt with by the rightful owner. When in a duel with an enemy, you must reveal yourself. In the novelization of AVP, Lex Woods was about to be killed by the Celtic Predator, by a cloaked predator, but before it prepared to deliver its final blow, it deactivated its cloak. According to the book, it is hunting ethic to reveal yourself to your enemy at the climax of a fight. However, the movie ignored this in part and showed the still cloaked predator attempting to kill. 14, predator, that's weapons of warfare. That has nothing to do with this. So, yes, those are the tenets of hunting. Notice how this predator does somewhat get away with some of the rules or bending the rules a little bit. He kills many of the Jamaicans. However, the one he leaves alive, he reveals himself because he sees that as a duel. Now, and we got some other assholes in the chat.
Oh, come on.
Yep, I'm going to block this user, the one that calls himself Trump. And anybody who comes at me with any sort of stupid shit, I'm just going to block you. So,
keep it civil,
what did you think of? Yeah, what did you think of the penthouse scene, the penthouse fights?
Oh, the fights were really good. The manner in which the Predator takes them all down quickly and efficiently, which not bad for a recently blooded.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he reveals himself to the last survivor.
Yep. The shit happens guy.
Yep.
And then I also like how the woman sees it and she reacts to it. She's like, what?
Yeah.
So then we get the police showing up. Harrigan's team shows up and they're like, okay, why isn't anybody going in? Well, we were about to, but then we heard that the federal task force is going to take this over. And so they hear it over the radio. We didn't hear that. And so they go up and they check it out. Seem familiar? And I love Lambert's reactions. He's like, ah! Fuck! It's like, fuck! Who the hell is King Willie? And they describe who King Willie is because the Jamaicans came after this guy and they're like, why is this guy skinned? And who the hell are these assholes? The Jamaicans, King Willie's boys. Why black people with valid opinions about you or why black people? Well, because what they're saying has absolutely nothing to do with the stream, and it has nothing to do with with them being black, and it has everything to do with them being rude. Venomous Gamer. That is what this is. Understand that and you'll be all right. Anyway, sorry to go off on a little snap there.
Don't
But some
worry
people
about
are
it.
just too fucking retarded to understand shit nowadays. Anyway, back to the movie. They see the survivor, and she keeps on repeating the same thing. The devil came for them in Spanish. And they're looking around. Oh, well, okay, sorry. My mistake.
That
It's small letters,
scene.
and also on a damn laptop, it does seem to
Mhm.
it can be misconstrued. Now, if I'm blocking a subscriber, well, maybe that subscriber should be less rude. All I'm saying, Venomous Gamer, valid opinions are okay, but not the way that they say it. When that dude is calling me a fucking queer and shit, that's bigoted. First and foremost. You got a problem with my own lifestyle? Well, there's DMs and shit. Anyway. Yeah, take this advice. So, Keys and his group show up just as they are seeing the spear tip and rafters above. And I love how Busey is like, can I talk to you in private? They say persistence is one of your most outstanding qualities. Look, I know this is your show. You're not listening to me. You got a big nose, and you're sticking it way too far into my business. Now, maybe you can hear this. The next time you cross me, you're going to turn up missing. And it's like,
Whoa.
really? Really?
Threatening the life of a police officer.
And then he spots Pope in there, and he's like, Garber, the man with the camera, get him right now. Stay away, man. Stay away. Hey, fuck you, man. And you see that Harrigan smiling this whole time and whatnot.
Like, yep,
But
he's one
it's
of the
just
boys.
fucking, yeah, he's like, the press have a right to know. And
Oh
then
my god,
Keys tells,
that guy.
yeah. Good question, Venomous Gamer, but I'm not going to go any further in it. So then he tells him, he's like, now you get the hell out of here. Who the hell are you, Keys? The last person on earth you want to fuck with. Ooh. So, what's the next scene after? They're taking him out, and the police, or he's like, you want to impress me, kid? Take your bag of tricks, stay on him, and find out where they're taking her. So he's like, hey, Captain, surveillance is my specialty. Okay, so go to it. So then he tells Danny Boy, or Danny, that he's like, these guys sure aren't the DEA, but this is still their team. So I'll meet you back here in 1 p.m. and we'll take a closer look at that room. Now, no hero stuff, okay, Danny Boy? And you see the Predators looking down on him, listening to this, recording what Harrigan is saying when he's saying Danny Boy, which comes to play later because you know that these things like to mimic.
Vocal mimicry.
Yep. So then we go to the bar and we find out that the girl, the survivor, never made it, and that Peter Keys stopped the ambulance, loaded her up into the chopper, and took off with her. And so then he's like, stay on, Keys, find out what he's doing. He's like, maybe we might get lucky. Luck is my specialty. Yeah, I bet it is. And so then freaking Paxton, he's like, now, if you'll excuse me, Lieutenant, I got some real police work to get into. He sees this woman giving him a sexy smile and whatnot, and he runs into Leona walking by. He's like, hey, are your balls okay? Sure. Or fine. How are yours? And then he's like, hey, do you mind? She's my sister. And he's like, hey, do you mind? She's my sister. Oh, you're not my sister, are you? And it's like, I would never use that excuse at a bar. I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
Nope.
Cousin, maybe, but not even that. It'd be like, hey, she's a friend. You mind? And whatnot. That's what I would say. I wouldn't
Never
say, hey,
changed
she's my
till
sister.
past.
Yeah, never changed, dude. You are
Rest in
sorely
peace.
missed. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Freaking Bill Paxton had the best lines. Game over, man. But anyway. So then you see that Harrigan's picking up on it, right? He's like, who are you really chasing, Keys? And then we get to Danny's death. Now, if you pay attention back in the penthouse, you actually see the Predator's bloody handprint going up the rafters.
I do remember that.
And,
yes.
Yep. And so then so then Danny climbs up into the rafters to get the spear tip, and he hears, Danny boy, Mike, whoa, falls over. Now the Predator reveals himself and then grabs the detective from falling. And as soon as he pulls his gun, that's when he pulls him up. Now, it sucks that Ruben Blades gets, stuck by a blade in this. It really does.
Yeah.
Because his character was seriously likable. I really liked Ruben Blades in this. And also this movie shouldn't piss off the woke crowd because, the white guy dies and the minorities, or this movie has a lot of minorities in it.
Remember, it was a movie made past the last 10 years.
Before
They probably
all
don't
this
know it
shit, yeah.
exists.
This movie is 32 years old.
They probably don't know it exists.
Yeah. And it's like, well, maybe you guys should pay attention more, you know? People like Joel and nothing better to do. Just you're anti-woke doesn't mean you can't be bigots. Well, the thing is, that is true. But when it comes to some people, I have no tolerance for them. Anywho, we then see that, or hear that we hear him get killed off screen, and then we're at the police officer or the police station where it's going over Harrigan's negative record. Violence prone, obsessive compulsive personality, responsible for the destruction of 11 patrol cars. And it just keeps going on and on and on. It's like, how the fuck does this dude even have a job, let alone an apartment or something that he can go to? 11 patrol cars? Holy shit.
Yeesh.
Dude, I get that you want to or that there's some shit that's going on that you got to take care of, but how the hell do you destroy 11 patrol cars?
He's going about his job like it's GTA or something.
Right? And so then his friend, the captain, sticks up for him. Captain Pilgrim sticks up for him. He's like, what about the 10 accommodations for valor and the highest arrest record in this the history of this department? That and the fact that I stuck my neck out for you is the only reason why you still have a job, Harrigan. If it was up to the chief, he'd arrest you and charge you for Detective Archuletta's death. How you doing, guinea pig? Good to see you, man. And he's like, as it is, he left it in my hands. Now, this John Wayne attitude and flagrant disregard is going to stop now, and you're going to respect the jurisdiction of Agent Keys. Will you ever do a stream about DC Comics? Or DC, as in DC Comics? Maybe. I mean, I've already done enough with or about Ezra Miller, man. But right now, I'm sticking to what I'm talking about here. PD had like unlimited money, so they could afford a lot. Possible. I mean, this is in this movie. It's 1997, so yeah. So then I love how he reacts. He's like, Captain, Danny and I grew up or came up together 15 years on the fucking street. Whoever killed him is going to pay. I'm going to see to it. And then he goes after Keys because he sees that Keys is in the building. And I just love how he manhandles Keys, right? So what are your thoughts on that scene?
Keys is a little bitch. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, no, I don't care who the fuck you are or what you want with this asshole, because now it's personal. And he's a dead man. The concept of what you're dealing with is way over your head. I'm warning you. Yeah, you're warning me. I'm warning you. Stay the fuck out of my way. Then he just claps in his hand or claps in his face and just walks off. And it's like, or Adam Baldwin's like, I'll take care of him. No, let him go. We're too close. So he then is talking with Leona and Bill Paxton, and it's like, forget it, it's over. Mike, this isn't your own personal award. You know, I love Danny too. And he's reminded that the door swings both ways by Lambert. And he's like, okay, so what do we know? And they lost Keys in the slaughterhouse district. So then he's like, all right, well, Leona, I want to meet with King Willie. King Willie and I seem to have this, or seem to be having the same problem. So they're like, well, Mike, it's impossible. Just do it. Oh, fuck. And he's like, you're coming with me. We're going to the corner. And so he's they're talking to the corner. They show her the spear tip, and she's like, astonishing. This thing has, or there's nothing on the periodic table that matches this thing, you know? And I also love how she yells at Bill Paxton for touching her shit. She's like, please do not touch anything. And you hear all this crashing and busted shit. I mean, it's really good. But yeah. To address Guinea Pig, let's see here. Like movies or comics. I don't touch the comics. Movies, I review movies, man. A hard reboot to DC. Honestly, I just want to. I'm hoping Zaslav can actually just bring this shit to a better direction, because he's seeing that the woke nonsense is not working. But back to the movie, the coroner is also complaining that the federal task force cut her out completely and brought in their own investigators. So you know that they're trying to hide what's being found, you know? And then King Willie's boys show up, and Harrigan goes with them, and you see the Predator looking down at Paxton. I forgot his name for a second there.
Lambert?
And he's like, door swings both ways, my ass. Yeah, Lambert. And so we then see him going up, and it's like, would you like some ganja, man? And so he meets with King Willie. Now, I love this scene with King Willie, because
So do I.
I mean, he's like, they say you won't talk to me. They say you offering me favors. And he's like, I want some information. Information. Oh, about the one who's doing all the killing. Ah, yeah. He killed your people, now mine. I think you know who he is. And he just starts doing that little I want him. I don't know who he is, but I know where he is. The other side. And then tosses the bones, and it's like, oh, fucking voodoo shit. You see, it's always the same. There's no stopping what can't be stopped, no killing what can't be killed. And those are important lines. There's no stopping what can't be stopped, you know? And then Harrigan's like, makes sense, man. This thing that is killing your people and mine is from the other side. I can feel him all around. You can't see the eyes of the demon until him come calling. And he has that frickin' cobra cane, which I absolutely frickin' want. I just want it because it also has a sword in it. You know? I like those kind of things. I like canes, folks. And so he's like, this is dread, man. Truly dread. Nothing else for you here, policeman. Time to go.
Quick fun fact: Truly Dread is the name of that track on the soundtrack.
What is it?
Truly Dread. I believe it's number
Nice.
14 on the Predator 2 soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
I like the music.
And
'cause
so,
it's
oh yeah, I did too. It's essentially the same as the other one, but slightly
Mhm.
different.
And another thing about King Willie that I want to note, I don't know if you've ever played Saints Row 2.
No.
Oh, there's a gang in Saints Row that reminds me of King Willie's chicken posse, and it makes me want.
You're skipping a lot, dude. I mean, you're cutting out a
Oh,
lot. I heard that there's a
yeah.
character in Saints
Sorry.
Row
Okay.
2 that resembles King Willie and his voodoo posse.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wonder if that was a tribute to Predator 2, if it was just a coincidence. Either way, I thought it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And then now,
And then
when the Predator comes down in this next scene, they had
he
to
lands in
do
the water.
so much. They had to do so much work to match up the Predator or the cloaked Predator feet with the tiny charges in the water. I mean, in the special features, if you go into the special features to look at this, you actually see how many times he missed, or the recording is missed and whatnot, or mismatched. And it's pretty cool to see how they had to do all this back in the 90s or the early 90s, the special effects. And we also see how water can affect the Predator's ability to cloak.
Mm-hmm. Although we did see that in the first Predator movie as well.
Yes. But in this one, it basically shows that even a small puddle is enough to disrupt the Predator's cloak to the point where it's charging around it or it has electrical cascades around it, but it doesn't completely destroy the cloak. However, if you are completely saturated, like later on in the film, you can't cloak. And another one that I can easily just block. So yeah. So we get the fight, but we get the introduction to the fight with King Willie and the Predator, because this thing's just walking toward him, and then puts its hands like this, and it sounds like there's blades extending, and you see that King Willie is ready for it because he's pulling out the sword, and he's like, "You saw a distant light in the holy mountain, Salah." And then you hear the scream, and King Willie is lost because the Predator's carrying his head into the ship to create another trophy. Now, I love the trophy scene. What about you?
Yes. Perfect skull maintenance and trophy building.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to unsub, that's fine by me. I don't care. When people are attacking me in my chat, I have every right to kick their ass off of my freaking stream. So fine. Bye.
Like you really expect him to just sit there and take it? You've got another thing coming, dude.
Mm-hmm. I don't care. I'll freaking kick all your asses out if I have to. If you're going to be disrespectful. But anyway, then we get to the Tony Pope hardcore. He's like, he's the Daily Vigilante continues his daily diet for murder. Bodies with their skins ripped off. Bodies with their hearts torn from their cadavers. And most recently, King Willie, the drug lord, the vicious drug lord, with his body or with his head cut off and his spinal column torn out from his body, a fitting demise to the Prince of Powder. And I'm like, that is just fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And then the team is talking to each other, and he's like, first Danny, then King Willie, and you were right there. He's toying with you, Mike. You got to be careful. And so they find out they're finding out more about Keyes, and he's like, there's a Peter J. Keyes, went to Cornell, then he got commissioned into the Air Force. Well, this is a dead end. So what about the good doctor? And the doctor finds out that the forensic report has been heavily redacted, but one one unredacted report cites that there's cattle blood and steroids from a fragment of wood in the penthouse, and it contained cattle blood and steroids, and she says that whoever killed Detective Archuleta had recently been in a slaughterhouse, which, well, that's where Lambert lost Keyes, Vernon and Industry, the slaughterhouse district. So we then find out that's where most likely they're going to find him. And he's like, I'm going to meet you guys, or take the train, and I'll meet you guys at the slaughterhouse district in an hour. And he then goes to the cemetery, where we see that the kid has the toy gun, and the Predator fully lases him, is ready to blast this kid, but it then sees that the kid lowered his weapon. Now, the kid then drops the line, "You want some candy?" It's like, "Mommy, I saw a ghost!" And
you think Candy's gonna placate the ghost? Good for you, kid.
yeah, right. I mean, it's nice little child innocence there. And the Predator's there for one reason and one reason only: to stalk Harrigan, but also to taunt him with the necklace. Because as he's walking away after leaving Danny's badge there, he Kane as in Cane. Sorry, Vanja. So then he sees Danny's necklace and he pulls his gun. He's checking every which way, and he even looks up, and it's like, why are you looking up? You know?
Danny boy.
What, you afraid? Yep. Well, he didn't say, or you didn't hear him say that though.
It would have
But
been.
you
I think he should have. That would have been really cool.
probably, yeah.
Freak him
So
the fuck
then he
out a little.
pulls it. Yeah, he grabs it, and he's like, Danny's necklace. And then we see the subway scene. Now, there's an interesting fact near the end of this that I'm going to talk about in the subway scene.
Sure. Oh,
Where
and real quick, I won't talk about it
Mhm.
in much length now, but there is one other game I would like to bring into this discussion because I believe that this was a big love letter to Predator 2. Have you heard of or played Predator Concrete Jungle?
Oh, I love that game.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So at the I just thought at the end of our movie synopsis we could get into a little discussion of the influence this film had on Concrete Jungle, especially since
Oh, yeah, definitely.
you talked about the Yaja rules of conduct,
Hmm.
and more than a few of them do get broken in that one.
Well, yeah. We'll discuss that later.
Yes,
But,
let's continue.
yeah. So we see the punks on the train, and we also see that Leona's feeling her stomach saying that the heat is killing me. You don't pick it up yet, but um
She's
we see
pregnant.
that yeah, we learn later on she's pregnant. Sorry, there's just these assholes just keep on swarming the chat.
We
But
should like enforce a on-topic rule or something.
oh, believe me, if anybody continues to, or I'm just blocking it right out. I don't care if I kill a number of my subs. I don't care. You're gonna or you can either respect my damn channel, or you can get the fuck out. I don't care. So anyway, we see that there's a lot of rush hour Rambos in the train when these punks try to hustle a dude for cash. And even there's this old lady that has a pretty big 45 revolver. And
Like that actually kind of amazed me. Like, damn, everyone on this subway is packing. Like, okay, I kind of it's kind of understandable with a drug war going on in the middle of your city, but holy shit.
and so then the predator arrives, and this is actually the moment where the other predators on that ship, the Lost Tribe, are basically thinking this predator hunt is going to come to an end soon, because if it doesn't, one of us is going out to get it.
Yeah, like he's going too far.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he has every right to slaughter every one of these people who are shooting at him, but still, you're killing indiscriminately, and you're not
Here,
revealing yourself. You're
here's
breaking
my
the rules
here's my
of your
big
hunt.
question about this entire scene. How did he know these people were armed?
They were shooting at him.
No, I mean, but he
He didn't
lands on the
attack them
train.
until they started shooting.
Okay. But I mean, they all pulled their guns out, then he lands on the train. I believe that was the sequence of events.
Yes, he landed there. He was, or essentially, um, he was looking for more prey, and it seems that he came across a perfect train, or the
Okay,
train at the right time.
fair enough. All right, continue.
It's one thing that honestly I would love to read the book, because the nerds never really explains why this thing showed up on the train. So we then see it busting the TV because it's sick of listening to that hardcore, or to Tony Pope,
Yeah,
which is good foreshadowing for later.
good.
Yeah. And so Jerry goes after the predator. It's taking out everybody. And so then he really Okay, it seems that
Gotta
let's
be
see
shitting
here.
me. I'm looking at. I saw that too.
Yeah, and now it's not letting me block, or it's not letting me block the damn users, and it's saying try refreshing the page. So we'll give it a sec. But anyway, Lambert goes after the predator, shoots, then even throws a golf ball at him, and he's like, "Great!" And then he throws the golf ball, and the predator's like, "Fucking really?"
What the fuck are you?
Yeah. And so when he pulls the knife, the big old machete, that machete should be very familiar to people who saw the first Predator movie.
Is that the
That
same
machete.
model as the one Billy had?
Yep. And if you don't believe me, well,
Here's the question: was it
hold
the
on
same
one
prop?
second. That I don't know. It could have been. Might have been. Now let's see here. Go, because I actually took screenshots and whatnot, and I love my screenshots. So today, there's that one, and there's that one, and I'm gonna share my screen. And let's see here. Share screen. Windows. Gallery 1 and Gallery 2. Now, this is the one in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Jerry Lambert about to get it on. Like King Kong and Ping Pong and Hong Kong and all that shit. He's about the let's dance moment. And now let's take a look at share screen, window, gallery 2. And from the first Predator movie.
Well, if
Yeah.
it's not the same prop, it looks remarkably similar.
Indeed. So, yep. So, yeah. That's the one that Jerry Lambert uses. And he's like, come on, motherfucker. Want some candy? Want some candy? Let's dance. And then he ends up getting,
Torn apart.
well, no, he didn't get he didn't get torn apart. He got yeeted across the train. He's like, whoa. And Leona manages to stop the train. Well, then, the train continues or finally stops, and she's like, everybody goes towards the light. Vamos, get on. And she goes down. She sees that Jerry's now hanging upside down, and she has blood all across her face, and she's backing up, and she turns, and there's the Predator, picks her up, and as it's holding her, you actually see from a different angle, looking kind of like this way, another Predator is zooming in, and you see the fetus. Now, that makes you kind of think that there's two Predators there. However, it really is just one, and that was just the angle that they had the camera at. So, Harrigan gets there. He sees Leona being hauled out, and they reveal that she is pregnant. She's in deep shock because, well, considering what she just saw.
Yes.
And whatnot. So it's like deep shock, but she'll survive. And We then see him get down there. He's checking all the bodies as they're getting hauled out. And he's like, where's Jerry? I don't know. Found his badge. Who got hit this time? 5 gang members and a bunch of commuters. Doesn't make sense. They were all armed. And he put it together. He's like, what do you mean? Well, he's then told to stay put, but he sees the blood trail leading outside of the train. And he follows it, and he's getting down there, and he sees he then sees the Predator literally rip out the spine and head of Jerry.
Oof.
So it's like, oh shit, man. Like, seriously, oh shit. So, we then see the chase, and this Predator is now like running across the different freaking vehicles, jumping on, off each one's trying to get away. It's like, you have now shown yourself to too many humans.
Uh-huh.
You are basically...
You're a dead Pred walking.
Well, not so much, but this thing is... It's literally touching the last nerves of its leaders and whatnot.
I mean,
it's
if
like
they
you
don't,
are...
If they don't kill him, they'll exile him in shame.
No, they'll kill him outright. He'd be, or if he continued his hunt, he'd be considered a bad blood. But anyway, freaking Tony Pope's yelling at Harrigan because Harrigan's on his truck and he's whatnot. And he's like, "Get your fat ass off my truck!" And then he jumps down. Hey, Harrigan, more victims, more mutilation.
Oh my god, this guy
And,
again. Just punch him in the face. Thank you.
Yep. He's like, "Fuck you," and he's like, and just walks up. Pope, you there, Pope? Pope, what's going on? So then the chase happens, and you see that the Predator is basically leading him away, and he gets hit by Peter Key's boys when he gets near the slaughterhouse. And this Predator's then climbing the tower, holding up his trophy of the bloodied Lambert's skull and spine, and getting a nice little charge of the lightning.
Makes me wonder.
Hey,
if
Mr. P, how you doing, dude?
If his combi stick doesn't also double as a lightning rod there.
I know, right? Because he's like celebrating his latest tribute.
Mm.
And so then
that is
we learn from Peter.
Iconic shot in that movie. One of the best.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. And so so they pull him into the thing. He's like, "Sir, the cop's back." God damn. Harrigan, don't you show up in the damnedest places. Come here, Lieutenant. And then he just basically tells him the most classified fucking intel ever. It's like, dude, you probably work for the fucking CIA. You're telling him the most classified secrets out there. You better be planning on double tapping him in the back of the head. So he's like, "There's your killer. Remarkable, isn't it? These are scent molecules and pheromones and shit." And he tells him 10 years ago, a special forces group, or one of his kind, stalked and eliminated a special forces group in Cambodia. There were 2 survivors.
Yep. Dutch and I don't remember the girl's name.
Anna.
And
they actually showed a picture of her and then another shot of her with, bushier hair in an interview with them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, they indicated that when trapped, this creature activated a self-destruct device that leveled enough rainforest to equal 300 city blocks. Remarkable weaponry. That's right, Lieutenant. Otherworld life forms. Huh? A fucking alien. How did the Predator get another Predator's trophy? It didn't, Vanja. When he took the Predator, or when he took Jerry Lambert's head, he was celebrating that as its trophy. Secret or government agent. Yes, was also called Otherworldly Affairs. Yes, or something like that. Actually, it was called Otherworld Life Forms. OWLF. OWLF. So he tells him, he's like, or tells him that this thing can only see by seeing our heat, and we then get the scene, or we see the mission to capture it. He's like, you admire the son of a bitch, not for what he does, Lieutenant, but for what he is, for what he could give us, a new era of scientific technology. Yeah, because I'm willing to bet your backer is probably has the last name of Yutani.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm willing to put money on it, but this was before the connection to Wayland or the Alien universe. But actually, this was during the connection to the Alien universe.
Yeah, because of
because
scene
of the
later.
Alien skull it later. Yeah. But so they tell him that we're going in to capture him. We've been putting out radioactive dust that adheres to his body, making him visible. And it's like, okay, so let's kick ass, you know? So they go in to get him, and they're going in with ultraviolet rays, liquid nitrogen cannons, and they start squeaking up the stairs. And that's when the Predator turns around. It's like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
I can hear something. And then you see with its Predator vision that it can't see, it hears it, it just doesn't know what, or it can't see what is making the noise. So,
to their credit, they do go in prepared.
he decides to oh, okay, got different wavelengths of sight. And you hear, or when it repeats one of them, it actually starts beeping. It's like, this one has already been seen. And then it goes completely like flame red, and it's like, this one's completely useless. And then it sees the ultraviolet and silvery light with the reds, and it's like, oh, well, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
There's people here. It's like, oh shit. Okay, well, now you will die. And you actually hear it say that. It's like, now you will die. But it's very distorted.
I do remember
And
that. Yes.
yeah, it's like, now you will die. And so it starts moving away, and freaking Harrigan tries telling Keyes, it's like, hey, it's going around on third floor structure right there. Who is this? Clear the line. It's right there. Turn them off. They can see the lights. Well, he then escapes and is like, don't do this, Harrigan. You'll ruin everything. Fuck yourself. I actually created a GIF of it, or of that moment where he's like, fuck yourself. Because that's basically the perfect GIF for moments like that kind of thing. It's like, dude, you're being an ass. Fuck yourself. I don't care. But yeah. He then does his little arming up. I love how he also puts in another layer of, or reinforcement layer for his jacket, his flak jacket. And this thing is just going to town on all the people in there, ripping them apart, smacking each other, blasting them with his plasma caster. It's just freaking awesome. You're seeing the Predator just go to town.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then it's getting ready to blast Keyes, and Keyes is like, oh shit, man. Okay, just come on, try to get it. Well, then boom. You want me? Here I am. And I love how the Predator's looking back, but his plasma caster's still pointing at Keyes. And it's like, okay, fucking shoot his ass without looking at him and go after Danny. And you see Keyes like screaming like, ah! So you think Keyes bit it. Well, no, he didn't bite it. Later on, you'll see.
Yeah.
And you really got to look close in this scenes, or in the next couple scenes, when the Predator tries to cloak. but the sprinklers went off because of the nitrogen things hitting the sprinklers. That's an extreme temperature differential that sets off the sprinklers. Not just heat, but cold as well will do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't cloak because of its being fully soaked or saturated with water. So then it's just like trying to hide as best as it can, try to fix or try to get out of the water area. Well, Harrigan starts shooting at it, and you see the bullets bouncing off and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then he actually clips its plasma caster, so it's like, fucking shut up. It's like rips it off in annoyance. I love that. And then it shoots it, puts up a arm blaster. Now, when he's walking in the widescreen version of this film, hold on one moment.
I don't believe the version I have is widescreen. I have mine through the. Oh no, it is widescreen. I have it through the Predator. Blah. What? Blah. Sorry, words. Predator triple feature. It's got the first 3 in one DVD package.
Oh yeah, it would definitely be widescreen then. So then, it shows Harrigan's view, where it looks left and then right, and you see the Predator kind of crouching, raising its arm up slowly, and then boom, he fires off his 20 millimeter grenade launcher while it fires off its arm caster, and it hit. They both almost hit, or he misses the Predator by a little bit, but he gets hit right in the double armor. So he has to rip that off because it's now heated up against him. So it's kind of burning him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you have enough energy to scream, you definitely ain't dying. Yeah, I know, right? Jack of all casuals.
That is the truth.
Yeah, the first comic released was 1 year before Pred 2. Nice.
Mm.
So we then see the Predator get right up close to him, and it's like tries to stab him, so he's trying to get away. He pulls a shotgun out, and we think that it finally kills the damn thing because it's getting smacked with a bunch of shots and green blood, and it's like, oh shit, ow, 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 okay, I'm gonna fall over and just play dead. Then so he pulls off the mask. Now, we saw in the first movie, you are one ugly motherfucker. Shut up! I mean, it roars at him, obviously. Well, in this, you are one ugly mother. Boom! Motherfucker. Then just throws him. Now, when he there's a very apt description of this Predator later, like coming up in this film. And well, when we get to it, I'll tell you why. Because when you see the up close of this Predator speaking, you'll understand what I mean when I cover it. So it then takes his shotgun, which is about the size of this wooden prop here, and he's holding it like this, and it's like smash. He just smashes it and shatters the damn thing, and starts heading toward him. Well, all of a sudden, Peter Keyes to the rescue. Guess who's back? Too late to go home now. I just love that. He's like, too late to go home now. And then blasts him again. And he runs away. He's like, and half of his face is all burnt because he turned at the last moment to miss for the plasma caster to hit him. So he's like, get out of here, Harrigan. I'm going to save your ass. This is between me and him.
I was actually a little surprised by that, given the animosity between them. I thought he was going to try to kill Harrigan there to cover up their involvement and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's would have been expected, honestly. It's like,
Hmm.
this dude knows too much, man. You're going to have to cap him eventually. So, but anyway, Mr. Predator's like, okay, well, enough of this shit. That kind of hurt. Smart weapon,
Smart disc.
discus style, and you see it
Oh,
blasting through some of the. Go ahead.
quick factoid: the sound effect for the smart disc is reused in the AVP2 video game. I actually heard it there because I had played AVP2 first before seeing this movie, and I got really excited when I heard the sound from the game. Like, I know that sound. Oh shit, I know that sound. He's fucked.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then he throws it, and it just cuts through a bunch of the cattle, and then you hear sloink. Now his bottom half drops, and you see the big gout of blood. Where's the top half? Why didn't it drop? You know?
The top half was completely just vaporized into blood from the smart
Oh,
disc.
maybe.
Because that's what
And then
happens
it.
in.
Mhm.
Sorry. That's what
No,
happens
go ahead.
sometimes in AVP2 with the smart disc. The smart disc
Yeah.
can jib an enemy.
Oh, nice. So yeah, I loved using the smart disc in the AVP game for the Xbox 360. It's like, screw you, screw you, screw you. Yeah,
Let's
bounce it
play
off
my
the walls
favorite
here and
game.
there. Oh, just took
Frisbee
out that
golf.
alien. Yep. And then so then the alien chases Harrigan up into the roof, and he has the mask that he's breathing because he kind of he's gotten a lot of freaking injuries, man. It's like, need some of my own oxygen version of whatever the fuck I breathe. Oh, okay, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker now. He takes out his telescopic spear, also known as his combi stick, and he throws it at Harrigan. Harrigan's getting scared by birds, and then the thing goes to the edge of the building and keeps taking in some huge hits of his I don't know what kind of freaking, I don't know what it is, man. His version of O2, I guess. And well,
Well,
Harrigan takes his combi stick
presume
and just,
I presume it's also O2 because I mean they can breathe our atmosphere.
yeah. I mean, it's like, oh shit. But anyway, he shoves him over, or Harrigan shoves him over with his own combi stick. And I don't know how the fuck they ended up in the way they did, but Harrigan is laying off the ledge, or the small little recess ledge of this building, with his arm down like this over the building while the Predator holds onto it with his arm. And it also uses a smart weapon. So it's kind of just holding onto his arm with the left hand, smart weapon with the right hand. And it's like, okay, pussy face, your move. And then he says, shit happens. The Predator does. And when you see this Predator's up close talking, the inside of his mouth kind of looks like a pussy. Not joking. It actually does. So it's like, apt description.
Mm-hmm.
Apt description. Well, we see the Predator clapperboard. Okay, I'm going to blow your ass up. I'd rather fucking die right here. It's like, he didn't beat you. Why the hell are you blowing your ass up? Oh, young bloods. But anyway, you see the struggle. It's counting down, nearly there, and Danny's reaching for the smart weapon, pulls it, slices off the Predator's arm, right in the middle of the device, effectively destroying the device without detonating it. And we then get the Predator in the bathroom with the medical kit and the old lady. This was so fucking hilarious, folks. what was your thoughts with the Predator and the old lady?
I just thought that was really funny. Like, old lady's watching Jeopardy in the background, and Predator's trying to heal himself with that medical kit, and that shit looks like it hurts.
Well, yeah, you're cauterizing your wounds. I mean, it's like, okay. And then he freaking puts a disinfectant needle in him and is screaming his fucking head off. He had to cauterize his own stump. It's like, oh my God, that hurts!
Young bloods.
Yeah. You can definitely tell he was a young blood. He was screaming like a bitch. And I just love how she's walking up with a fucking broom, folks, as this thing is screaming. She is walking up with a broom, ready to smack whatever's in there.
I mean, you hear screaming like that, you're not going to go in there with a broom. You're going to go in there with a baseball bat at minimum.
I mean, no. I'd be going in there with no baseball bat's going to harm whatever the hell's making that noise. I'm getting a gun. Well, this thing comes busting out, and then I just love how it's like, fuck you, get out of my way, door, and just takes off. Full view of everybody, by the way, because it can't cloak because its wrist gauntlet's been halved.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's okay, I'm a cop. I don't think he gives a shit.
I love that line because he comes in after trying to crawl up the piping that it grabbed and fell into there with. And he comes through and she's like, ah! It's okay. Okay. I'm a cop. I don't think he gives a shit. And so he's running around and he's jumps down an elevator shaft. Why can't this asshole stay on the ground? Not again. Shit. So he ends up falling through. And we end up at the Predator ship. Man, I'm so tired. Grammar is not my friend right now. Yeah, I hear you, jack of all casuals.
Don't worry about it.
So we then Harrigan gets in there, and now he's actually coughing and shit when he's in the atmosphere of the Predator. He's actually and then he sees the trophy case, and you get the full Predator theme, the jungle drums and all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees King Willie's skull. He sees the big old alien Tyrannosaurus Rex, the xenomorph skull.
Pretty sure that was
other
a
ones
queen,
and like,
Xeno.
no, that was just a warrior Xeno.
Mm.
And then there was one under it that could have been something else. And it's like,
so, I do have a question. Were these trophies all the ones killed by this young blood?
No.
I don't think so. Given his actions
This is
in this
a
movie, there's
fairly,
no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
What these things were most likely intelligent species.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just recently blooded. So maybe that one xenomorph skull was his, but I'm guessing the other things weren't.
Mm.
But we don't know specifically. So the Predator then tries using the net gun on Danny. He cuts his way out of it, and he's looking for it. And he's like, "Where is it?" Whoa! It tries cutting him in the face. We get the battle, and he gets sliced in the stomach, so he drops to his knees. And this thing cracks its knuckles. It's like, and then it brings up its arm for the finish. Well, Danny brings up the weapon right into his gut, like right in the gut area and upward.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just driving it in further. It's like, that's right, asshole. Shit happens. Rips it out. And this thing screams bloody murder until it falls back and dies. Now, when he goes to check it, you see its mandibles kind of just wiggling a little bit, like death rattle wiggle.
Yeah.
The Yautja have to kill a xenomorph before they're allowed to hunt by themselves. Yes, that is true, jack of all casuals. To kill a xenomorph is the blooding ritual for Yautja. So then he checks it, makes sure it's all dead, gets up, turns around.
Yep. There's more.
Grayback is the name of this predator that came in with the sword and with two predators flanking. Now, Grayback has a very, very rare plasma caster because all the predators with their helmets is where the tri-laser targeting reticule is. Grayback's plasma caster has the targeting reticule on the caster itself, which is pretty cool. And then you see that he's surrounded by the entire lost tribe of the predators, the elite of the elite. These things are all like some of the best predators out there. And he's like, he drops his weapon, and he's like, okay, who's next? Well, two of them the two that step up are actually brothers. I can't remember their names, but they are siblings, and they pick up their fallen comrade to drag him out. Now, in the book, this predator is still alive. In the book, Grayback decapitates this predator for its failure. Now, also, Grayback had a patch on his left arm that is from the 2nd Battalion of the U.S. Army. Also, he has dog tags that he was holding like this and rubbing. And then, as he's about to walk away, he pulls out the flintlock pistol, tosses it to Danny Glover. Raphael Adelini, 1715. And you see that Danny Glover's noticing these things have been here for a while and will be back, most likely. So he has to run before the ship takes off because it's going to take off whether he's on it or not. And he ends up getting out and getting sucked down into a bunch of debris and whatnot. He ends up coming out all dusty as fucking shit. And Adam Baldwin's like, Harrigan, what the fuck happened in here, huh? Tries hitting him with the gun. He just lowers it, and he's just looking at him, and he's like, you really want to fuck with me right now? I mean, because if you fucking fuck with me, I'm going to fucking blow your fucking head off right now with this goddamn flintlock pistol. I mean, not that it would fire. It's probably out of charge and doesn't have any shit to do. But the guy's like, God damn it, we were so close because there were other... the brothers were Snake and Boar, I believe. Yes, most likely. I think those were its names. So, good to see you, Soul Assassin. Thank you for coming. So, we then, or after the Otherworld Lifeform guys take off, you hear him say, don't worry, assholes. You'll get another chance.
Because they'll be back.
Yeah, and the police are showing up around Harrigan like, Harrigan, what the fuck are you doing? And that's the end of the movie. So what was your favorite parts in this film?
The subway scene. Just love it. Total carnage, even though the Predator's acting not like a Predator. The fight in the slaughterhouse and the end fight on the Predator ship.
Nice. My favorite parts...
Also the scene with King Willie.
Yeah. My favorite parts was the fights with King Willie. Who doesn't like the penthouse scene all the way through? The final battle and the warehouse fight with all of the Otherworld Lifeform guys. Plus the train, obviously, is very good. Now, this movie does have its some of its more objective flaws, some bad CGI, some bad acting and whatnot. But for the most part, it's a pretty solid film. What would you rate it?
8.5.
That's fair. Me, personally, I do the 3 tiers. Objectively, I'd put this movie at about an 8, 7.5 to 8. The subjective, it's a 9 to 9.5. I really like this movie. It's great, and definitely moviegoer. It's a 10 out of 10. But yeah, I really enjoy Predator 2, and thank you for choosing it, Anihilus. Everybody should, or thank you to Soul Assassin
Absolutely.
for putting his links in the chat as well as mine. Thank you so much. Also, if you check the description of this stream, folks, Annihilus's Twitter and YouTube are in the description. So definitely give him a follow on Twitter and on YouTube. Is there anything you want to plug?
Not much. I am currently still doing my stream slash playthrough of the original non-legendary edition Mass Effect trilogy because that's how it started and that's how I'm going to finish it. And
Nice.
I'm almost done with ME2. ME3 is coming and it's heavily modded.
Nice. So that is going to lead to the conclusion of our guest choice review. Next week, I will continue the mystery review. The clues for that review I have given in the last one, but I will give them again here. It is Michael Caine and Christopher Nolan. That leaves a fair amount of movies to choose from. So also take a look at the poll I have on my Twitter because it pertains to the mystery reviews. Also, if you want to be on a guest choice, you get to choose the movie, you get to choose the time, you get to choose the date. And it's all for guest convenience. So if you want to be on, hit me up, choose the movie. I can be reached on YouTube or I could be reached on Twitter, Minds, Getter. I barely am on Minds and Getter right now, but I will check them every now and then. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Soul Assassin, Jack of All Casuals, Mr. Pete. Who else? Vanja for sticking in. Cayman Rider, thank you. Who else? Reach for the Skies, thank you. Guinea Pig Collective, thank you. Venomous Gamer, thank you. Max Z 1101, thank you. Keely Chow, thank you for going on or for coming in. Cult Classic Cage Cassie, thank you for coming in and supporting the channel. Thank you all for coming in and supporting the channel. Have a wonderful night, folks. And let's see what's the last comments here. Vixes, thank you for coming in. Have a wonderful night, folks. Always remember, stay humble and be respectful. Have a good night.